Hey Planty people, it's Taylor, and today I thought I would hop on and film a video that I'm very excited about, sharing with you all of the wishlist plants that I have acquired so far this year. There's about 10 of them, I think, to go through, so we're gonna just hop in and I'm gonna show you these gorgeous plants. I'm gonna talk about where I got them, how much I spent, and maybe like if I regret buying them or something like that. I thought it would be just interesting to share that with you all. And I'm coming to you from our porch, which we finally have gotten furniture and got it set up to where we can actually hang out here. And now I am loving this spot. I'm out here all the time. So hopefully the neighbors' dogs and the construction will work with us and it won't be too loud, but let's jump in. So the first one I got was back in January, and I actually got it while traveling to Washington State because my husband and I used to live there. Now we live in Texas. So when we were traveling, I actually went to some plant shops that I used to go to when living there, and I picked up this beautiful Luxurians, or at least it was labeled as a Luxurians. It's beautiful. I love the textured leaves on it. So that is this one. So I picked it up at Garden Spot, which was a really awesome plant shop in Bellingham, Washington, which is where we used to live. And it actually has two plants in the pot. I don't know if you can tell that, but like there's this bigger one, and this is the newest leaf on the bigger one. It's probably still hardening off a little bit, but it's not quite as big as the one it put out prior. And then there's a baby one right here, with this being the newest leaf. So there's that one. So like I said, the Luxurians I picked up at Garden Spot. And the same day I got that one, I also picked up a Billy Tie or Biliaceae. And you might have seen it if you watched my plant tour. It was like a 1-leaf or 2-leaf wonder back then. I didn't do great with it. I think honestly it probably had started to have root rot when I got it. And I don't remember if I like repotted it right away or if I was just kind of like, oh, it's just going through it and it's gonna come back, like it'll be fine. I didn't intervene as much as I should have and it died, basically. So I kind of regret both of these, like in the way that I could have just probably gotten them locally if I waited. Eventually they would have turned up and wouldn't have had to travel with them. They might have done better. I might not have lost the Billy Tie, but you know, I'm still glad I picked them up. It was a fun experience traveling with plants and just experiencing that and knowing that I can do it. So that was those two, first two that I got. One still is alive and one not so much. And then after that, also in January, a little later in January, I ordered a mint Adansonii. If you're follow me on Instagram, you saw me kind of unbox it in a quick little reel. But I got this from Next World Exotics, and it's beautiful. It's maybe a little bit slow of a grower, but it probably had 2 or 3 leaves when I got it, and now it's got 6 with it's working on its 7th, and it's really pretty. I love the variegation on these guys, and I got this for a good price. It was $45, and I think that's including shipping, so I think it was like $30 and then the shipping. And I just love it. It's got like the minty, I'll get a little closer, it's got like minty leaves, it's got the white, and if you put it in higher light, that's like the last few that have come out are a little more white than the previous that are a little more of like the green and the shades of green. But it's a beautiful one. Don't regret it at all. I think I got it for a great price. It's done really well. It just had a little bit of crisping on like a few of the original leaves, but overall it's doing really well and I'm really happy I picked it up. So that is that one. Okay, so next up, also in January, surprisingly, I think I spent a fair amount in January because I was kind of spending Christmas money that I got, so I didn't feel as bad about picking up some of these guys. But end of January, I picked up my Caruso Verde right here. Very cute. So this guy had a bit of a struggle when I got it. One of the leaves kind of like melted. It wasn't the happiest. I transitioned it to a medium that I'm more familiar with, which is chunky soil. It was in like a sphagnum perlite mix, but it seemed to do better ever since I did that. The original leaves, so these like, I think it had maybe 2 or 3, are really pretty. As you can see, they're a lot lighter. They've got like the lighter green color, and I don't know if you can tell, but the edges almost have like a pinky corally color to them. Very pretty. The newer leaves are much more green, and that's my fault. I didn't put it in a super highlight spot, so those new leaves came in more green. It is what it is. I moved it to a higher light spot, and this newest leaf, from what I can see, it looks lighter. It looks like it's gonna be that prettier light color with like the darker speckling on it. So I regret the care that I put into it because I didn't put it in a great spot with like enough light. Now it's in a better spot, and I think it'll be a lot happier. But I picked up this one and the next one, my Jose Buono, from the same place, and I'll show you that one next. These came from Plant Shop, but it's spelled S-H-O-P-P-E, and it's in San Antonio, or like around the San Antonio area. I picked up both of these from them for 120 total, so they were like 60 each roughly. And then this is my Jose Buono, and it's really pretty. And I gotta be honest, it had a similar issue where I put them both kind of on a lower shelf and they were not getting the light they deserved. So this one put out like almost a completely full green leaf, and then I moved it to a higher light spot, and now it's put out some nicer leaves with more of that variegation. So that is this one. So I really like both of these beautiful ones that I picked up at Plant Shop in San Antonio. And I think they will be a lot happier now that I've kind of put them into a chunky mix and gotten them in some higher light spots. So I'm really excited to see what they turn into. Next, in February, I picked up this beautiful silver blush Anthurium. And this came from Wild Roots, which is in New Braunfels. It's probably one of my favorite plant shops around here. But look at that gorgeous silver blush. So pretty. It's like every leaf it's put out has been more silver. I think when I got it, it only had 2 leaves, and the oldest one is starting to yellow. It's probably gonna fall off soon. But every leaf that it has put out, I swear, has been more silver. The newest one it put out, that one at the top, it's super silver. And I don't know if you can tell, but its next leaf is coming out soon. So, absolutely gorgeous. This was one that I didn't really know I needed until I saw it, and I was like, yes, I absolutely need that. So, a lot of these plants that I got were kind of on my wish list for some time, but I'd probably say this one wasn't necessarily. I had seen it more recently, and then I got the opportunity to get it. It was, I think, $40, and I was like, gotta have it. So, really pretty. Wild Roots is probably the #1 reason I started collecting Anthurium and have a little Anthurium collection now. So that's that one. The next plant on the list of wishlist plants I acquired this year is the most expensive one I got, and it's also the one I've had on my wish list for the longest though. Probably ever since I started collecting plants, maybe even before that, I'd probably seen one and was like, I want that someday. They were expensive, totally not affordable, still more than I would have wanted to spend for one plant, but it was absolutely stunning. I found it locally and I did splurge on it. My husband kind of encouraged me to. So it's my Monstera Thai constellation. I could not be happier to own this plant. I've wanted it for so long. I waited and waited until price drops and was finally at a range that I was willing to spend, and I felt like I was in a place where I wouldn't kill it and I was experienced enough that it would do well. So I picked it up. It's beautiful, you guys. Absolutely love it. I just recently repotted it into this chunky mix and gave it like a little cocoa coir pole to climb, and hopefully it gets big, beautiful leaves. It's probably gonna drop like its oldest leaf or two, but you know, that's okay, that's understandable. But it's really beautiful. So excited to have it. I picked this up at Ceremony Botanical Studio in Wimberley. So excited to have this. It's so beautiful. It had maybe 3 leaves on it when I got it. I think it had 4 because it also had its first fenestrated one. And each leaf was just gorgeous. And like I said, it was local. I knew it didn't have to go through the stress of importing. It was a really beautiful specimen, and I picked it up. It was about $200, right around there, which is the most I've ever spent on a plant, by far. I think before that, the most expensive plant I'd ever gotten was probably my pink princess, which was like 60 or 70, something like that. So this was quite a bit to splurge on a plant. And I almost talked myself out of it, but my husband was like, you should get it. I know you've wanted one for a long time. So I did, and I'm really happy to have it and really excited to see it grow nice and big. Okay, we're almost done. I have the last 4, which all came from the same event, same day. We'll talk about it. But I was pretty proud of myself because when I got the Tycon, I told myself I was not gonna buy a plant for a while because that was, again, expensive, definitely a splurge. So I bought that back in February, and then I didn't buy plants until now, and it's early June, the time of recording this. So like 4 months that I went without buying plants, which is pretty great. A bug just landed on one. Get out of here, sir. Go away. Okay. So yeah, I went like 4 months without buying a plant after I bought the Thai. And I kind of knew about this event that I picked up these for a while, and I'd been waiting to, you know, really spend money on plants until then. So it was the Texas Plant Collectors Market, and it was hosted at Wild Roots, which is again one of my favorite local-ish places to buy plants. And it was a great event. There was so many people there, literally insane. Did not expect that kind of turnout. It was just packed, and I picked up some beautiful plants. I'm really happy with what I got. I only got 4 things, and I only spent $125 total for all 4 of those items. So I'll show you these last few and wrap this up. So I picked up, we'll show you the Hoyas first. I picked both these beautiful Hoya up from Lauren's Leaves 777 on Instagram. I had never heard of her until this event was announced. I'm so excited that I found her because these are absolutely gorgeous, and I will definitely be buying from her again. I picked up the Hoya AH074 from her, which is absolutely gorgeous, silvery leaves, and it's got like some dark spots on the edges too. So it can kind of grow silver, it can have these dark patches. The neighbor's dog is not happy about something. And then I picked up this Hoya Colina No ID, which originally I was gonna get a Wilbur Graves from her, but I saw this one and I actually preferred the leaf shape more, and it's just so pretty. Silvery, these little cute, kind of like rounded with a little bit of a point on the end. So I think both of these were $60. This one was $20, I think, and then the AH074 was $40. And I think they're absolutely stunning. I'm really glad I got them, excited to grow them out and see what they turn into. And then these last 2, I am pretty sure they're from Bold Botanicals, which is run by, her name's Aroid Alley on Instagram, and she kind of was one of the people that helped put this event together, I'm pretty sure, or maybe the main person. And I picked up this Ring of Fire little baby. It's so beautiful. I almost didn't even see it. My husband was actually the one that picked it up and was like, oh, this is really cool. And I'm like, I've wanted one of those for a while, so I got it. And this was $30, $35, something like that. So pretty though. I'm really excited. I'm excited that I picked up a philodendron that doesn't necessarily need a pole. This one's more of like a, I don't know what that growth habit is called, but it kind of like a bush, like a bird's nest, Anthurium, like that type of vibe. So I'm excited to have it, and I think it's really pretty. Yeah. And then the last little baby, the smallest little plant, is a Monstera Oblika Peru. And yes, it is one leaf. And it has another one that's like about to come out soon. And you might think you're crazy for buying one leaf, and I spent like $30 on it. But these used to be insanely expensive. I don't know if you've been around in the plant community back when you'd buy a node for hundreds of dollars, like insane. Yeah, so this guy is really cute, and they get like really skeleton-y leaves. I'm excited to see it grow up. Okay guys, so those were all my wishlist plants that I have acquired so far this year, 2023. We're entering June, so we're getting to like the halfway point. But that's everything I've gotten this year. Like I said, I picked up, I think that was 10-ish that we covered, wishlist plants. Some that have been on my wish list for a very long time, and some that were definitely like newer additions to my wish list. But I'm very excited and feel very grateful to have checked them off, and I'm really looking forward to growing them. So that's that. Hopefully you found that interesting, and go ahead and share with me down in the comments any wish list plants that you've acquired this year, if any of ours are the same, and maybe others that are still on your list. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.